Hi, welcome to the Yale University Art Gallery in New Haven, Connecticut. Come on in and have a seat. This is Stories in Art. Please feel free to pause the video whenever you'd like to get a closer look at the artwork. Enjoy!
Hi, my name is Melinda, and I'm a gallery teacher at the Yale University Art Gallery. Today, I'm going to tell you a story about a cat and a group of mice who tried to live together. The story comes from the fables of Aesop, a storyteller who lived in ancient Greece. There are many versions of this story, and today's version comes from a book written by John Ogilvy that was printed a long time ago in 1668. This picture is an etching by Wenceslas Haller, who was from Bohemia, or what's now called the Czech Republic. Wenceslas Haller made this picture to illustrate this version of the story. He made lots of pictures for this book of Aesop's fables. The title of this picture is The Cat and the Mice. Take a close look. What do you notice? I'm noticing a cat sitting on a ledge, and it looks like a group of mice is walking up to offer her something. But I'm also seeing that the artist has divided the room up into sections, and that makes me wonder if each section might be a different part of the story. Do you notice anything about the room? I'm noticing that the building looks like a church or a big hall because it has lots of arched windows, tall columns, and a fancy ceiling. I wonder if the small circle at the back of the room is a window. As I tell the story, keep looking closely at the picture and see what else you notice. Once upon a time, there was an old cat. She had lived a very exciting life, eating mice, sneaking around, and getting into lots of mischief. But one day, she realized she was getting older and slowing down. The cat decided to move into a convent, a type of old church, and settled down in the great hall. She lived a quiet and simple life, trying her best to be a very good cat so she could stay in the convent. There was only one problem. In the convent, there was a colony of mice that lived in a den next to the kitchen. The mice lived very modest lives, barely getting by with just a small amount of food each day. The cat knew she had to be good, but she was extremely tempted just thinking about the nearby mice. They could make such a delicious meal, she thought to herself, but I have to stay on my best behavior. Each day she would walk by just to peek into their den, and then just to see what the mice smelled like, and her temptation grew stronger and stronger. When the mice began to notice the cat coming closer to the kitchen, they became very afraid, and they decided to call a meeting with the Mice Council. The leader of the mice said to the council, "Many of you have noticed that we have a new neighbor in the convent. We need to come up with a plan to protect ourselves." The cat sensed that the mice were growing afraid of her, and she thought to herself, "I truly mean no harm wandering by their home. I just want a quiet place to live." But she also knew that her temptation to raid the mice's den was growing stronger, and she was getting hungrier and hungrier with each passing day. Soon she became very sad, just thinking about how much she wanted to eat the mice. As the days went on, the mice noticed that the cat was sulking around the convent with a sad expression on her face. The mice decided to give the cat a chance because they could see that she was trying to be on her best behavior. The mice thought they might be able to find a way to live in peace with the cat. So the mice council met and made a plan to approach the cat with a contract or a written agreement that she could let them live in peace in their home. The three bravest mice offered to carry the contract. When they proposed their agreement to the cat, she said to the mice, "Oh, you don't need to worry. I used to hunt for mice all the time, But that was the old me. I've changed. That's why I've come to live in this convent. But her temptation to pounce on them was stronger than ever, so she began to think of a plan. She told the mice, I will agree to your peace deal if you promise to come to dinner with me tonight. We'll dine by candlelight. It will be very special. The mice didn't realize at the time, but the cat had other plans. So that night, 9 of the mice went into the hall to have dinner with the cat. They expected to see the tables set for a great banquet, just as the cat had promised. But when they gathered in the hall, the cat pounced on them, and they realized they had been tricked. Luckily, the mice had lived in the convent for many years, much longer than the cat. They barely escaped through the tiny holes in the walls, which the cat had known to block off. Before the cat even knew it, the mice had raced home to safety. They were glad that they had escaped the cat's trap. The cat was very sorry that she tried to pull off such a tricky plan, so she went back to her old ways of sulking around the convent. After this night, the rest of the mice were much wiser about the cat. They learned to watch the cat's actions in addition to her words, and they never strayed too far from their den again. The end. What did you notice as you listened to the story? I noticed that one scene from the story, when the mice council approaches the cat, appears in the foreground of the print, and another part of the story, where the cat tries to pounce on the mice, appears in the background. The artist included several scenes from the story in just one picture. Think of a story that you like and try drawing different parts of the same story on one page. We hope you have fun telling your stories through pictures.
Thank you for joining us for Stories in Art at the Yale University Art Gallery. We hope you enjoyed listening and looking with our storytellers.